All right, so inverse trig functions. So remember last time we used the trig functions to find the missing sides. So we use inverse trig functions to find missing angles. So trig functions, what we did last time, it takes the angle and gives the ratio. And then inverse trig functions, it takes the ratio and gives the angle. So that's what we're going to be doing today. You stay out there. I'm working. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, like we've been doing, is label the sides. And so here's our reference angle. So then the side over here, the 6, would be our opposite side. And then 18 is across from our 90-degree angle. So that would be our hypotenuse. And then this side down here would be our adjacent side. So far, nothing new. Next, we need to determine which trig ratio to use and write the ratio. So based on the information that you're given, that's how you're going to decide which ratio. So we have this angle, and the two sides that we know are the opposite side and the hypotenuse side. So is it sine, cosine, or tangent that uses the opposite and the hypotenuse? So out of SO, COT, TOA, that's going to be sine. So we're going to be using the sine of our angle, which is x, and we know the sine of that angle is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So then the sine of x equals, well, our opposite we know is 6, and our hypotenuse side we know is 18. Then our last step is we're going to solve for x using the inverse trig function. So to solve for x, x equals the inverse sine of 6/18. And so at this point, then we just need our calculator. And I'll show you how to do it on your phones. Okay. So now, if you have an iPhone, hopefully, you're going to do 6/18 first, which equals 0.33333. And then we need to take the inverse sign. So right now it's just sine. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. So you're going to hit the second button, and then you'll see that now the inverse buttons pop up. So then we're going to take the inverse sine of that, and it is 19.47. So that tells us that this angle right here is 19.47. Okay, any questions on the notes?
Can you move it up a little bit?
Sure. Jose, give me just a second because I know you just came on. So let everyone finish copying this really quick and then I'll show you the whole page.
Okay.
And then we're going to be on page 53 in your workbook. So once you're ready, go ahead and open up to page 53. Okay, Jose, here's the full page.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so then let's go to page 53. Okay, so all of these, we're going to be doing exactly what we just did. So we're going to use the inverse functions to find the missing angle. So here's our missing angle. So step one says to label the side. So if this is our angle, we know that 21 is the opposite side. We know that this side is the hypotenuse, which we don't know, and this side would be our adjacent side. You guys are really good at labeling the sides. So now that we know which sides, we can only use the sides where we know the length of that side. So the hypotenuse, we don't know, so we're not going to be using that one. So we know, all we know is the adjacent side and the opposite side. So which function uses adjacent and opposite? We have opposite and hypotenuse, adjacent and hypotenuse, and opposite and adjacent. What was that, Jade?
Tan, the TOA one.
Right. Yep, it's the TOA. So we know then that the tangent of our angle X equals the opposite over the adjacent. So our opposite side is 21 over our adjacent side, which is 18. And then so now just to find X, we take the inverse tangent of our ratio. And now it's just calculator work. So before we do it on our calculator, any questions how we got 21 over 18 or tangent to the -1 of 21 over 18? Okay. So to our calculators, we'll do the 21 over 18 first. And then remember, you want to make sure you have the second button. So you want to see tan to the -1. That's the inverse tangent. And so that is 49.4. So we know that this angle right here is 49.4 degrees. All right, let's go ahead and do number 2. So here's our angle right here, that's our X. And then so we have our, this 60 would be the hypotenuse because it's across from the 90-degree angle, which would make this side our adjacent side. So you really have to label the 2 sides that they give you. Okay, and then can someone tell me, so which trig function are we going to use? Is it SO, CA, or TOA?
Ca.
Right, yep, so we're going to be using cosine of our angle X equals our adjacent side over our hypotenuse. So our adjacent side is 23 and our hypotenuse is 60. I'll pause there. Any questions? Okay, and then now we want to solve for X. So we need to take the inverse of cosine and our ratio. So then we're going to take 23 divided by 60. And then we're going to do the inverse cosine, which is 67.5. And really it says to the nearest degree. So we could just say it would actually be 67 degrees. Okay, you guys ready to do a few on your own? Yeah? Okay, so let's do Elijah, can you do 3 and 4? Jade, 5 and 6. Jaden, 7 and 8. Jasmine, 9 and 10. Jose, 11 and 12. And Rick, 13 and 14. And then send me a message in the chat when you're done so I know when to start going over them. Okay, are you guys ready or do you need more time? I know a couple of you told me you were finished.
I think I messed up, to be honest.
Okay, well, no problem. We'll just go over it. Elijah, your
Okay.
first step. Are you ready? Elijah?
I think he did.
No, we couldn't hear him. His mic was, there we go. Elijah, are you there? He's there, but I don't think his mic's working because he's not on mute. He unmuted, but we can't hear him. Okay, sorry, Elijah. We can't hear you. I know you're trying to talk because I see that you are unmuting. Yeah, it's not working. That's okay. I'll just go ahead and go over it, if that's okay. So here's our angle, which makes the 49 our opposite side, and then the 54 is the hypotenuse. It's across. So we have the opposite and the hypotenuse, so it's going to be our SO, which is the sine function. So the sine of an angle X is equal to our opposite side, which is 49, over our hypotenuse, which is 54. So then we take the inverse of sine and 49 over 54. So we'll do 49 over 54 and take the inverse sine of that, and that is 65 degrees. Okay, and then for number 4, here's our angle. So we have our adjacent side and we have our hypotenuse. So the one that uses the adjacent and the hypotenuse is cosine. And our adjacent side is 27 over our hypotenuse, which is 28. We take our 27 divided by 28, and then the inverse cosine. So that one would be 15 degrees. Any questions on number 4? Okay, Jade, what about number 5? Which trig function did you use?
Cos.
Okay, cosine?
Yeah.
Because which two sides did you have?
Hypotenuse and adjacent.
Yep. So then what was your ratio of those sides?
15 over 41.
Very good. So then what did you get when you took the inverse of 15 over 41?
68.
Okay, very good. And then what about number 6?
I got sin.
Okay, the sine, because you had the opposite side and the hypotenuse. Good.
And then I got 16 over 32.
Yep.
And then when I did that, I got 30 degrees.
Very good. Thank you, Jade. Anyone have any questions on 5 or 6? All right. I think Jaden, did you have 7 and 8?
Yeah, but I did it wrong, so I did not get past 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to tell me 7 and then I'll do 8 with you?
See, I don't even have 7 done. That's
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, no problem. So we have our angle. So Jaden, what is 23? Which side is that?
That's the adjacent.
So it's across from our angle. So if it's across, that might be where you're running into problems.
Oh,
If it's across, that's our opposite side.
see, I knew that. No total.
And then, so what would our 45 side be?
The hypothesis.
So the hypotenuse, remember, is always across from your 90-degree angle. It's the biggest side. So this side would actually be our hypotenuse.
So that'll be adjacent.
So this side's our adjacent side, right? It's been a week, Jaden. It's okay to forget.
I don't even know what to say. To be honest.
You're fine. So then the two sides that they gave us are the opposite side and the adjacent side. So which one uses the opposite side and the adjacent side? Is it SO, CA, or TOA?
Tan X.
Yep, it's our TOA. Yep, so we're going to take the tangent of our angle equals, what's that going to equal?
23 over 45.
Exactly. Good. Then we just have to take the inverse of that.
Oh man.
And did you, let's see. 20.
See, for some reason, my calculator doesn't have like the negative. For some reason.
Okay. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to hit this second button
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
to get the inverse buttons. Yeah, if you want the inverse sine, cosine, and tangent, you have to make sure you push down that second.
Now you know, apparently. All right.
So then 23 divided by 45, and then we take the inverse tangent of that, and it is 27 degrees. Okay, so then Jaden for number 8, 24. So it's across from our angle. So is that, which side is that?
That's the opposite.
Yes. And then we have our 34, which is across from our 90-degree angle. So what's that one?
That would be adjacent. I mean, the hypothesis.
The hypotenuse, right? If it's across from our 90-degree angle, that's our biggest side, which is the hypotenuse. So then we have the opposite side and the hypotenuse. So we're going to be using sine, cosine, or tangent.
That would be the tangent.
So
No,
tangent,
not the tangent. I'm tripping. What was the other one? I forgot. What was the other ones?
sine or cosine?
Sine. I want to say sine.
Yeah, because sine is our SO, right? Which uses the opposite over the hypotenuse, which are the two sides that we have. So the sine of x equals our opposite side, which is 24, over our hypotenuse, which is 34.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put that in our calculator, 24 over 34, and then take the inverse sine. And so that angle is 45 degrees.
Yep, dumb moment for Jaden. Yep, that's what we're going to say.
All right, Jasmine, number 9.
Okay, for the side that's 48 is the hypotenuse,
Very good.
and then 46 is the adjacent.
Yep. So then which trig function did you use?
Cosine.
Very good. And that equaled what?
46 over 48.
Excellent. And then what did you get when you typed it into your calculator?
16 degrees.
16 degrees. Excellent. Okay, and then what about number 10?
6 is the adjacent.
Yep.
And then 13 is the hypotenuse.
Very good. So was it sine, cosine, or tangent?
Cosine.
Very good. And so it equals?
6 over 13.
Excellent. So we take the inverse cosine of 6 over 13, and what did you get?
62.
Yep.
Sorry, my mic messed up.
Oh, no problem. Excellent. Okay, is it okay if I flip? Did everyone get it? Or are we still copying? I think we're still
Yeah, I got everything right down. Elijah said not yet.
okay. Thanks. All right. Let's go ahead and flip to the back. All right, Jose, what sides did they give us?
For 11, I didn't get to finish it all the way, but what I got so far was 41 was opposite
Good.
and 59 was hypotenuse.
Yep.
Then I did sin x equals 41 over 59.
Yep.
And then that's where I stopped because I didn't have enough time to finish it.
Okay, no problem. So then we just need to take the inverse to solve for x. We just have to take the inverse of sine.
Yeah.
So you did all the hard part. Now it's just the easy part in our calculator. So 41 over 50. Oops.
And
41.
that's where I got confused because I didn't know how to do it in the calculator.
Okay. So you just do the fraction first. So 41 divided by 59. And then make sure, do you have an iPhone?
Yes.
Okay. So then make sure you hit the second button so that it's highlighted gray.
Oh,
So that
okay.
you see
Okay.
the inverse buttons. Yeah, because if you don't, then it's just the regular sine, cosine, and tangent.
Okay.
And then now we are taking the inverse sine. So we select that button and then that tells us the angle. So our angle is 44 degrees.
Nice.
Okay. So then number 12, Jose, what's 25?
25 would be opposite.
Yep. And what about 28?
28 would be adjacent.
Yep. So is it SOHCAHTOA or TOA?
It would be SOHCAHTOA or no TOA.
It would be TOA, right? So we're going to be taking the tangent of our angle X and then TOA. So we do our O first.
It would be 25 over 28.
Yep. Excellent. And then we just solve for X. And so we'll divide 25 by 28 and then keep the inverse tangent of that. And it would be, we'd round to 42 degrees. Oops. Okay. And then Rick, what about 13?
13. Okay, so I labeled the sides,
Okay.
and so I got the sin one.
Okay. So we have our opposite and our hypotenuse, right? So then we know that sine, yep, which equals what?
Equals 27 over 45.
Right? Oops. And then what did you get when you took the
I got
27 over 45?
36.9 degrees,
36.9?
or 37 degrees. If you
Yep.
round those.
Yep. Very good. Okay, and then 14, what did you get?
So 14, I labeled the sides, and I got the opposite and hypotenuse, which is the same as sin.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, sin, which And then that would be 43 over 48. Which then would get me 64 degrees.
All right, very good. Okay, are you guys good with this? Are you okay if we don't finish the last one, or do you guys each want to do one more so that the page is complete? We get it? We're good to move on? Okay, so you can just cross off the bottom half and just turn in what we did. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and open up Canvas and we can do the checkpoint. So if you guys can go ahead and open up your Canvas to sign in so that you can submit it. Okay, so go ahead and go to geometry. And then modules. And it is, I believe it's the 9.2 checkpoint. Yep. So go ahead and under week 11, you'll see the 9.2 checkpoint. Go ahead and click that one. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Elijah. Try it and see if your mic's working now.
Nope.
There we go. Yep. Was that
No,
you?
that was
No,
Jaden.
that was Jaden. He was impersonating.
Elijah's off mute. Let's see. You're probably talking and we still can't hear you, Elijah. Sorry. You could try to leave and then come back in. We can, if you want to try that, sometimes that'll fix it.
Technically,
So
it's fine.
I already did the checkpoint
Yeah,
last week.
too.
Did you get 20 out of 20 already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Should be, yeah. Yeah, me and Jane have the same brain. We just
We just built
you know.
different.
If it's do, you got to do it, huh? No.
Yeah, if one of us thinks it's do, then the other thinks it's do.
Okay, well, you guys can, I don't know. Let's see. Did anyone else do the checkpoint? I thought only one person. I had saw yours, Rick. I thought only you had that.
Let me. I'm pretty sure I did it. Hold on, let me check.
I'm pretty sure I told him to do it.
Wait, did that work?
I can check. Oh, yep, we can hear you now, Elijah.
Okay. I was like, damn, what happened?
There we go. We got his mic working finally again.
Yay. That's Zoom. Zoom's such a pain. So it just decides when it wants to work certain things and when it doesn't.
For real. All right, I'm going back on mute.
Okay. Let's see. There's the 9.1, 9.2. Oh, no, you're right. Jaden got, that's what I thought. But Rick, you got a 12.5. So you might as well submit and get the rest of your points. Jaden got a perfect score.
Yeah, I told you. Stop playing with me. Just built different, that's all.
Wait, didn't I do the checkpoint with you last week on Tuesday? I remember doing it with you. I don't know why.
Elijah, we did, but not this one. We did some other checkpoints that you were missing.
Okay, never mind.
So definitely, yeah,
We
log
did
in
like 3
and
or 4.
yep, we did. So just still log in though and find the 9.2 checkpoint. It's under week 11.
Okay.
Okay. So the first ones are starting off with what we did last week. So it's not the inverse because we're just trying to find the missing sides. So we need, for number 1, we need to find the missing side. Darn it, my overhead froze. Anytime I click into something else, it won't let me, like my hands there, won't. I have to close it and restart it. Still not gonna work. Now I have to unplug it. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Okay. So we have number 1. We have 6x, and we know that this angle is 20. Okay. So we want to label our sides first, right? So 6 would be our adjacent, and x would be our hypotenuse. So you can tell me which trig function are we using? So, ka or toa?
Toa.
We're using, nope, not toa, because we don't have the opposite and adjacent.
Cosine.
So cosine, because we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Yep, that's our cost. So the cosine of our angle, which is 20, equals our adjacent side, which is 6, over our hypotenuse, which is x. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. And then remember, we just cross multiply. So we get x times the cosine of 20 equals 1 times 6, which is 6. Then I have to divide by the cosine of 20. And then do it on our calculator. So we do 6 divided by, remember to do 20 first, 20 and then the cosine. So I wanted to make sure before. So 6 divided by, and then we do 20 and then take the cosine of that. Equals 6.4. So it would be B 6.4. All right, you guys good with number 1? Okay. Number 2. We have 7x and our angle is 24. Okay, so we have our opposite side and we have our adjacent side. So which trig function am I using?
Tangent.
Tangent, good. So tangent of our angle 24 equals, what am I gonna put?
Uh, 7 over x.
Excellent. Good, and then I need to cross multiply. So x times the tangent of 24 equals 1 times 7. And then what do I need to do? Anyone? How do I get rid of this? I just need x, right? So then we have to divide by tangent 24. So x equals 7 divided by 24 and tangent, which is 17.2. Uh-oh. It's not there. Did I do something wrong? 7 divided by 24 and take the tangent of 24. I did do something wrong. It's 15.7. I typed something in wrong or pushed the wrong button. So number 2 is also be 15.7. All right, so we have 2 more like this. So does someone do number 3 for me? Any volunteers? No volunteers? I have to pick people? Okay, Jade, you can do it.
Okay.
So what's 7? Is there opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse?
Opposite.
Yep, because we're using this angle, which is 65. So 7's our opposite side, and what's our x?
Hypotenuse.
X is the hypotenuse. Okay, so are we using sine, cosine, or tangent?
Sine.
Yep. So the sine of our angle, which is 65, equals what?
It would be 7 over x.
Perfect. Then what do I do?
Cross multiply.
Yep. Equals 1 times 7. Yep. Then what do I do?
And then you divide it by itself.
Yep.
And then you get, wait, do you put the 7 in first or the sine 65?
Yep, you can put the 7 in first. So you do 7 divided by, and then you have to hit 65 first. And then take the sine of 65 and then hit equals
7.7.
7.7. Awesome. Thank you, Jade. Rick, can you do 4 for me?
Yeah, okay. Okay. Let me go to number 4. Okay, so I would first label the sides and all that.
Okay, so what was x?
So x would be the opposite,
And 6 would be?
the adjacent.
Yep. So is it sine, cosine, or tangent?
It would be tangent.
Yep. So the tangent of our angle, which is 61, equals what?
So the tangent of 5 over 12, let me do that in quick. Wait, it was, no, it wasn't 5 over, wait, no, I'm looking at my chart thing. So that would be, God, I'm all over the place right now.
So
Yeah,
we just put
confused.
the
Okay.
opposite side over the adjacent side. So
Okay,
the
yeah, so
opposite side.
So it's 61 over 6.
So we're still
no,
trying
wait.
to find the sides. So it's just the tangent. We already know the angle is 61. So it equals our opposite side, which is x, divided by our adjacent side, which is 6.
Mhm.
And then we still just cross multiply. So we actually get 6 times the tangent of 61 equals x. And then we just have to multiply that.
Yep.
So 61 tangent equals, let's see. Okay, and then times 6. So we get 10.8.
Mhm.
Okay. Now 5, 6, 7, and 8 are what we did today. So now we're trying to find the missing angles.
Wait, what was number 4?
Number 4 was 10.8.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so number 5, we have, let's see, our sides, we have our hypotenuse and we have our adjacent side. So I was
Cosine.
gonna say, go ahead.
It's cosine.
Yep, it's cosine. Excellent, thank you. So we're gonna take the cosine of our angle X equals what, Elijah?
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Yep,
It is. What am I looking at? I'm just kidding. 12 over 13.
our adjacent over our hypotenuse, which is 12 over 13. Yep, and then to find X, we have to take the inverse of cosine. So we'll do it on our calculator. 12 divided by 13. And then we do the inverse cosine, which is 22.6, which rounds to 23. Great, thank you, Elijah. So then number 6. Here's our unknown angle. We know this side's 35 and this side is 30. Let's see who hasn't gotten a turn. Jaden, you haven't had a turn.
Wait, what?
So what would
You can't
35
slide around here.
what would 35 be? Which side is that?
That would be the opposite.
So here's our reference angle.
Yeah, right. That would be
So it's across from the 90-degree angle.
So that would be off. I'm confused. Would that be the opposite? Like
It's the hypotenuse.
hypotenuse.
So the side across from the 90-degree angle is the hypotenuse. Okay, and then remember, here's our reference angle. So the 30, is that our adjacent or our opposite?
The opposite. I mean, not the opposite. The adjacent.
The adjacent. Yep, so the opposite would be the one across over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so then we know they gave us our hypotenuse and our adjacent side. So is that so, ka, or toa?
That'll be I want to say ka.
Yep, because we have the adjacent, we have our A, and we have our H. So this is going to be the cosine of X equals
30 over 35.
Yep, 30 over 35. Very good. Now it's just calculator work. We've got 30 divided by 35, and then we take the inverse cosine, so it's 31. Thank you, Jaden. We don't know this one. We have 21 and we have 16. Jose, you haven't had one. Can you tell me how to do number 7?
I was literally about to ask if I can help you do number
Oh,
7.
perfect.
Hold on, let me get my notes open. For number 7, you have to label the sides. So
Yep.
16 would be opposite,
Very good.
and 21 would be hypotenuse.
Yep.
And that would, we would use SOTT. I forgot what that, how to say that one.
The so, yeah,
Yeah.
or SOH, yes, because we have the O and we
I
have
thought it
the
was double T.
H. So We have the sine of our angle x equals
16/21.
16/21. Okay. Then we solve for our angle. 16 divided by 21, and then we take the inverse sine, 49.6, which rounds to 50. Okay, Jasmine, can you help us with the last one?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so what's 20?
Opposite
Yep. And 57?
hypotenuse.
Yep. So is it sine, cosine, or tangent?
Sine.
Yep. And so it's equal.
It'll be 20/57.
Very good. So then we solve for x by taking the inverse sine of 20/57. 20 divided by 57. And then the inverse sine. So 20.5, which rounds to 21. All right, go ahead and submit those. Hopefully we got 100%.
Hope not some questions are rigged.
Could be, you never know.
Yo, I didn't get any of them right. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, hey, yo.
A heart attack. Okay, and then do you guys want to do, I know Jasmine, you usually have to leave, but do you guys want to stay on just for a few more minutes and do the Unit 9 application? And Jasmine, I can send you the recording. Is that okay with you guys? Stay on a couple extra
Yeah,
minutes?
sure.
Okay.
I can stay.
Yeah, I'm fine
Oh,
with that.
okay, so Michael, whose eyes are 6 feet off the ground, is standing 36 feet away from the base of the building, and he looks up at a 50-degree angle of elevation to a point on the edge of the building's roof. How tall is the building? So we're trying to figure out this height over here. So he's at a 50-degree angle, and he's 36 feet from the building. So here's our reference angle. So the height of the building is at our opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. You guys are scared? Yes, thank you. The opposite. And then the 36 feet is what? Is that the adjacent side or the hypotenuse?
Adjacent.
Very good, Jake. Thank you. Okay, so in order to find this side, are we going to use tangent, sine, cosine, or tangent?
Tangent.
Right, very good, Jake. Thank you. So the tangent of our 50-degree angle is equal to what, Jade?
Is equal to x over 36.
Very good. Okay, and then we just cross multiply. And so x equals 36 times the tangent of 50. Okay, so we do the tangent of 50 times 36. And that is 42.9, so we'll say 43 feet. Okay, any questions on number 1? Okay. Number 2, we have a pilot is traveling at a height of 35,000 feet above ground level. According to her GPS, she is 40 miles away from the airport runway. At what angle will she need to descend to land at the start of the runway? So now we're trying to find this angle, which means we're going to be using our inverse trig functions that we learned today. So here's the angle. We know that the height then over here is also 35,000 feet. And it's still, this is still 40 miles. I didn't realize when I put this question here, they need to be in the same, I didn't realize that this was in miles and this was in feet. How many feet are in a mile?
It's rigged.
How many feet are in a mile?
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Okay, so 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So let's see, let's do 35,000 divided by 5280. 35,000 divided by 5280. You would have to convert this to miles. So this would be 6.6, which we could round to 7. So let's say this is 7 miles. Okay. So now let's try to find the angle. So instead of using 35,000 feet, we'll say they're 7 miles above the ground and the runway is 40 miles. So we need to figure out this angle. So the 7 miles, that side, is that Jaden? Which side is that? We gotta nail down these sides.
Okay.
You can do it. Here's our angle. So just think about it. Is that side, is that opposite from the angle? Is it adjacent, which means right next to
It's
it?
the opposite, right?
It's the opposite, right? And then the 40 would be what? So it's either going to be the adjacent or hypotenuse. So where's the 90-degree angle? The 90-degree angle is right here. So if the 90-degree angle is right here, we know that this side can't be the hypotenuse then, right? So then.
Wait, you still talk? Wait, I still have to answer?
Yeah, well, you're supposed to tell me the size.
Oh no! That's okay now. Okay.
So then the 40 miles would be what?
That would be I I thought this or adjacent.
It would be the adjacent side. It's right next to the angle, and it's not the hypotenuse. Okay, so we know the opposite side and the adjacent side. So are we using sine, cosine, or tangent? Anyone. Doesn't have to be you, Jamie.
Please, anybody else, please.
Tangent.
Anyone know?
If I'm looking correctly, it would be tangent, no?
Yep, you're right, Rick. It would also be tangent because we have the opposite side and the adjacent side. So we're going to divide. Can I explain? Is that what you said?
No, I was saying the teacher's bullying me.
Oh. I'm making sure you know how to identify the sides before we leave. You got to know that. Okay.
Yeah, I did it without the notes, so that's my achievement for today. That's all.
All right. See, you really learned. That's awesome.
He's stunning on all of us.
It's 1 in 3 guess that you just get like 33%. Odds are better with 50-50, but yet somehow.
Okay, Savannah. Okay, Savannah.
Wow.
Okay, so then we would need to solve for x by taking the inverse tangent of 7 over 40. 7, oops, 7 divided by 40. Let me take the inverse, so make sure you hit your second button, the inverse tangent. Which would be 9.92, which would be 10 degrees. So they would descend at 10 degrees to land in 40 miles. And then don't worry, you guys don't have to do, I'm gonna excuse you guys, since you guys always come to the live sessions, we'll just cross off the problem solving task. Because we didn't get to it, it's 11:08. But go ahead, I do want you guys to write this paragraph. It's important to write. So you're gonna do 6 to 8 sentences describing what you learned about trigonometry this unit. How do you know which trig function to use? How can you find a missing side using trigonometry? How can you find a missing angle using trigonometry? So use your notes and just explain the steps. You can use the steps and just explain exactly, you have the steps in your notes to write that down. So that's all you have to do for the rest of the week is this trig paragraph. It's not bad, right?
I thought we were in math